Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Saṅghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Yoche vassa sataṃ jīve apasaṃ dhamma muttamaṃ ekahaṃ jīvitaṃ seyyo passato dhamma muttamaṃ. Living one single day with seeing, realizing the Dhamma is better than living 100 years without seeing, without realizing the Dhamma. Friends, this is one of the utterances of the Buddha. Now, this is the time for all of us to listen to a Dhamma talk. For this Dhamma talk, our topic is how right living leads to right liberation. First, I would like to thank Bhante Sumana Jyoti, the head monk, the head priest of this temple of Cincinnati, and all of you for inviting me to lead this retreat today. As Bhante said this morning, he invited me when we were in Italy this year. In March we were in Italy. Then he invited me to come and lead a retreat here. He wanted me to come in May for the Buddha's birthday, Vesak full moon day, and then Poson, Asala, Nikini, full moon days, but I couldn't make it. Eventually, I was able to come this time for this full moon day, Binara full moon day. So I am so glad to be here with you all today to share the Dhamma with you and practice with you this Dhamma, this wonderful Dhamma, unparalleled Dhamma. So I am very happy to see this wonderful place, beautiful place, which was built by you and maintained by you. First, I bless upon you all for the success of all your activities here in this temple. Now let's come to the topic. How right living leads to right liberation. What is right living? Right living is harmless living, blameless living, living with good behaviors, good conduct, living peacefully. In short, living based on the Dhamma. So what is Dhamma? Dhamma basically means the nature. Dhamma means good things. Teaching of all good teachers, masters, teachers, rishis, sages. Again, Dhamma means good conduct, ethics. Dhamma means the supreme Dhamma. As such, I see there are different levels of Dhamma. Basically, I see 4 levels of Dhamma. Dhamma as a fact, that is the first level. Dhamma as a fact. All of us can understand, all of us can accept it as a fact. Like the nature. Nature, when we talk about nature, the environment, we all have to accept the importance of environment, good environment. We need to live a good environment. We have to respect, we have to share, we have to care things like trees, animals. Then we are living harmlessly. Second level is Dhamma in general. That is the teaching of all good masters, good teachers, like Jesus Dhamma, Muhammad Dhamma, Hindu Dhamma, like that, different levels, different Dhamma. That's in general. And the third level is Dhamma as ethics. Ethics, the Buddha taught ethics for the first time to his own father, Suddhodana. You know, the Buddha attained enlightenment on the full moon day of May, the Vesak full moon day. After 1 year, he visited his hometown to see his father and relatives. As King Suddhodana understood that his son had attained enlightenment and was preaching in distance, that was in Rajagir, the place called Rajgir today, where Buddha was teaching. Then King Suddhodana from Kapilavattu, he sent different messengers headed by some ministers. 10 different times he sent, according to Buddhist literature, he sent 10,000 people to invite the Buddha to come to Kapilavattu, his native place. Eventually Buddha, after 1 year, Buddha came to Kapilavattu together with 20,000 arahants. That means within 1 year, in this dispensation, in this sasana, there were 20,000 arahants within 1 year. So Buddha came with them. This number is a bit big to me. Suppose 2,000 arahant. Buddha came with them all to this place called Kapilavattu. And when they came to Kapilavattu, the people of Kapilavattu were not ready to accept the Buddha as Buddha. As Sakyans, they were warriors, they were quite conceit. They are pride, the conceited Sakyans. They were not ready to accept Buddha as Buddha. Therefore, first they sent their children forward to respect the Buddha. Where the Buddha performed a miracle, which is called twin miracle. One side of the body was water, emitting water from one side, emitting fire from the other side. That was the twin miracle. Seeing this, the Sakyans understood that he was not a simple person. They understood that Buddha was Buddha, a real Buddha. Then they all respected the Buddha. The Buddha preached them, taught them Dhamma, and when it was evening, they all went back their home. None of them invited Buddha for the following day's dana, following day's lunch. So the king himself went to his palace, Suddhodana. Then the following day morning, as Buddha was not invited formally, no invitations extended, therefore Buddha contemplated the Buddha's traditions, and Buddha understood that it was the tradition of Buddhas that Buddha, even the past Buddhas, they went from house to house begging. So Buddha started house to house begging together with his disciples. Then Yasodhara, the Prince Siddhartha's wife, Yasodhara, King Suddhodana's daughter-in-law, she saw this. She saw Siddhartha, the Buddha, together with his disciples, going from house to house begging. Seeing this, she went to Suddhodana, the king, and said that your son is begging in the street. Isn't it a shame to you? Then the king ran there and he knelt and said, Bhante, why didn't you come to the palace to take a meal? I can provide you a meal together with all these disciples. I can provide a meal. Why didn't you come? This is not our tradition. This is not the lineage of the kings. We have never done such things. We have never begged like this. Then the Buddha said, it is your tradition. Your Majesty, it is your tradition. But this is the Buddha's tradition. We go from house to house begging. Where Buddha said, Uttitte, rise. Nappamajjaya, don't be unmindful. Nappamajjaya, be mindful. That's the meaning. Be mindful. Nappamajjaya. Dhammang sucharitang chare. Live in the Dhamma. Live in the Dhamma. Live a dharmic life. Dhammang sucharitang chare. Righteous life. Dhammachari sukhang seti. He who lives in Dhamma lives happily. Sukhang seti. Asmin loke paramhicha. In this world and the next as well. So in such a way the Buddha taught him the importance of leading a righteous life, good life, wholesome life, life with morality, moral life. Buddha's ethics is quite different. In comparison to 5 precepts, for instance, 5 precepts are not for Buddhist, not only for Buddhist. 5 precepts, you can see 5 precepts in other religions as well. But the Buddha pointed out something more. Buddha pointed out 10 different wholesome and unwholesome things. 10 different skillful and unskillful things. Buddha said, unskillful things. There are unskillful things. Killing is unskillful. Killing is unskillful. Whoever does it. Killing is killing. Killing is unskillful. Stealing is unskillful. Sexual misconduct is unskillful. False speech is unskillful. Malicious talk is unskillful. Harsh speech is unskillful. Frivolous talk is unskillful. Covetousness is unskillful. Ill will is unskillful. Wrong view is unskillful. These 10, these are called 10 akusala, 10 unwholesome, 10 unskillful things, which are unskillful. So the Buddha said, avoid this, abandon this. Once addressing the monks, Buddha said, monks, abandon unskillful. It is possible, monks. Buddha said, it is possible, monks, to abandon unskillful. If it is impossible, I do never say so. If it is impossible, if it is conducive to unbeneficial, if it is conducive to displeasure, I don't say so. Therefore, abandon unskillful. Again, the Buddha pointed out they are opposite. What are skillful? Buddha said, refraining from killing is skillful. Without skillfulness, you cannot do such things. Without skillfulness, you cannot refrain from killing. Refrain from killing means not only simply refrain and say, no, I don't kill. That is not what the Buddha is teaching. Simply, it is very simple to say that we don't kill. Therefore, we don't want to worry about that. But people kill many beings. There are three things to be understood. Killing, not only killing, all the 5 precepts. You have to understand, killing is only one aspect of the precept. We can kill, we can ask somebody to kill for us, or we can appreciate, we can approve killing. These are 3 things. If we are engaged in such 3, we are breaking the precept. Killing, get somebody else to kill, or approve killing. Stealing the same, sexual misconduct is the same, falsehood the same, and taking intoxicant the same. 3 ways. We have to be concerned of these 3 and completely refrain, completely avoid such things. Then only we can be happy. Then only we can be happy of our sila. Otherwise, we are breaking precepts. There are some sort of black marks of our sila. We cannot then come to what you call the Ariyakanta sila. Friends, these 5 precepts are enough for the attainment, ultimately for the attainment of enlightenment. We don't want to worry even of these different levels of sila. If one can practice totally, purely, pristine, pure sila of the 5 precepts are enough for the attainment of arahanthood. Stream enter. To attain stream enter, what should you do? The Buddha said, Buddhe avecchappasada, Dhamme avecchappasada, Sanghe avecchappasada, Aryakanta sila. 4 factors for the attainment of stream enterer. To become a stream enterer. Buddhe avecchappasada, what is that? Avecchappasada means unwavering confidence. So unwavering confidence of the Buddha, unwavering confidence of the Dhamma, unwavering confidence of the Sangha. And then Aryakanta sila, the pristine pure sila. That is 5 precepts. So Buddha said, refrain from killing is skillful. Refrain from stealing is skillful. Refrain from sexual misconduct is skillful. Refrain from false speech is skillful. Refrain from malicious talk is skillful. Refrain from harsh speech is skillful. Refrain from frivolous talk is skillful. Refrain from covetousness, skillful. Refrain from ill will is skillful. Refrain from wrong view is skillful. That is how Buddha taught us what you call conduct, good conduct. In Pali, suchata. sucharita, good conduct. That is Dhamma. That is Dhamma. We talk about Kusala Dhamma, Akusala Dhamma. That is Dhamma. That is the third level of Dhamma. And now let's come to the fourth level. As I said earlier, there are 4 levels of Dhamma. The fourth one is called Supreme Dhamma. What is that Dhamma? That is the Dhamma taught by the Buddha. Supreme Dhamma, which is unparalleled Dhamma. That is why it is called Supreme. That Dhamma is called Saddhamma. Not only simply Dhamma, but called Saddhamma. This Dhamma is well expounded Dhamma. Swakhato Bhagavata Dhammo. Su-akhata means well expounded. It is the well expounded Dhamma. Sanditthiko, which is directly visible. What do you mean by directly visible? Visible here now. When you practice this Dhamma, you don't want to go anywhere else to experience it. You can experience it here and now. Therefore, it is called directly visible Dhamma. Sanditthiko. Akaliko Dhammo. Akalika, unaffected by time. It is the Dhamma, unaffected by time, means it is for all the time. Whether past, present, future. It's for all time. Everlasting Dhamma. That is why it is called Akaliko Dhammo. You don't want to wait for results. Akaliko Dhammo. Ehi Passiko Dhammo. Ehi Passika. Come and see Dhamma. Dhamma invites us to come and see. Not to come and embrace this Dhamma. Not to come and believe this Dhamma. But to come and see means come and do your own investigation. It is open. It is open for investigation. Ehi Passiko. Openaiko. Openaika. When practice, the Dhamma becomes yours. When practice, it has an onwards journey. Step by step, onward. Opanaiko Dhammo. Pacchattam Veditabbo Dhammo. This Dhamma is to be understood, to be realized by the wise. That is the Dhamma. That is the Dhamma taught by the Buddha. This Dhamma is, as I said, called Supreme Dhamma. Why is Supreme Dhamma? Saddhamma. There are 37 factors of this Dhamma. There are 7 categories. These are supreme because this Dhamma, when practiced, one can attain enlightenment. There are 37 factors. What are the 37 factors? 4 establishments of mindfulness. There you find 4 establishments of mindfulness. Then 4 right efforts. There again you find 4. Then 4 roads to power. Again 4. Then 5 spiritual faculties. There you find 5. Then 5 mental powers. Again 5. Then 7 factors of enlightenment. There are 7. And then 8-fold path. There you find 8. Those are what we call 37 factors of enlightenment. These are the Dhamma, real Dhamma taught by the Buddha. Nobody can refute this Dhamma. Nobody can tarnish this Dhamma. Nobody can reject this Dhamma. These are the everlasting things. These are the real Dhamma taught by the Buddha. This Dhamma is to be understood. When practice this Dhamma, as I said, we can attain enlightenment. Once, before the passing away of the Buddha, a certain monk was practicing. He was sitting, and all other monks, worldly monks, Puthujjana, the worldly monks, were with sorrowful. Some were crying as Buddha is about to pass. They were crying. So one monk, seeing this monk was practicing, he went to the Buddha and complained. But said, Bhante, that particular monk is meditating, he is practicing, but all other monks were sorrowful as Bhante is going to pass. Then the Buddha summoned him, asked him to go get him. And then when he came, Buddha asked whether you were practicing, is it true that you are practicing all other monks while sorrowful, while crying, you are practicing, is it true? Then the Buddha said, then he said, Bhante, Venerable Sir, yes. I thought that this is the best thing that I can do as Buddha is going to pass. I thought that it is better practice and attain a certain level, like there are 4 levels of the spiritual path: stream entry, Vanshritana, non-returner, and the Arahantship. So I thought that it is better practice and come to a certain level. That is why I started to practice Bhante. Then Buddha said, Sadhu, Sadhu, this is how you to practice my Dhamma. This is what exactly you to do. Where the Buddha said, Dhamma Ramo, Dhamma Rato, Dhammang Anuvichintayang, Dhammang Anusarang Bhikkhu, Saddhamma na Parihayati. Dhamma Ramo, who dwells in the Dhamma. Dhamma Rato, who delights in the Dhamma. Dhammang Anuvichintayang, who contemplates on the Dhamma. Dhammang Anusarang Bhikkhu, the Bhikkhu, the practitioner, who remembers the Dhamma. Dhammang Anusarang Bhikkhu Saddhamma na Parihayati. Saddhamma, see the word Saddhamma. Na Parihayati, he will never fall away from this Saddhamma. So, we talk about this Dhamma, friends. There are people, they hate this Dhamma. They don't like this Dhamma. There are people, they praise this Dhamma. That is the nature of the world. In the Parabhava Sutta, the Parabhava Sutta is the downfall. Once a certain deity asked the blessings. So the Buddha gave a list of blessings, 38 type of blessings. And the following night, another deity came and asked Bhante, what are the Parabha, what are the downfalls? There the Buddha gave that particular discourse named Parabhava Sutta. There the very first thing that Buddha said was, Dhamma kamo bhavang hoti, Dhamma desi parabhav. Dhamma kamo bhavang hoti. Those who like this Dhamma prosper. Those who like this Dhamma. Dhamma kamo bhavang hoti, prosper. And Dhamma desi, those who hate this Dhamma, they downfall. Dhamma desi parabhav. Again, referring to the same Dhamma, the Buddha said, Dhammo have rakkati, Dhammachari. Dhammo have rakkati, Dhammachari. The Buddha said, Dhammo have rakkati, Dhammachari. Those who protect this Dhamma will be protected by the Dhamma. That is the same Dhamma that protects us. Again, Buddha says, Na thavata dhammadaro yavata bahubasati. Simply, if one talks much of things, he is not the real person versed in Dhamma. Yocha appampi sutthana. Whoever even little knows, even only little, though he knows little, Dhammang kayena passati. If one can see this Dhamma, experience this Dhamma through his body, Dhammang kayena passati. Socha Dhamma daro hoti. He is the person who is well versed in the Dhamma. So Buddha appreciated, even knowing little, even though you know this Dhamma very little, you have to experience this Dhamma within. That is the nature. That is the Buddha's teaching. One day, Venerable Anuruddha, he was practicing, meditating in a woods. While he was contemplating, he understood the importance of this Dhamma. He thought, this Dhamma is for reducing desire, not for increasing desire. This Dhamma is for increasing contentment, not for increasing discontentment. This Dhamma is for increasing seclusion, not for becoming sociable. This Dhamma is for arousing energy, not for arousing laziness. This Dhamma is for increasing mindfulness, not for increasing unmindfulness. This Dhamma is for developing composure, not for developing restlessness. This Dhamma is for developing wisdom, not to decrease, not to increase, develop ignorance. Like that, he thought of the nature of this Dhamma, the importance of this Dhamma, which are called the great noble thoughts. He contemplated upon 7 things. Then the Buddha saw his mind from distance, from his monastery, how he was thought of this Dhamma. 7 different things. Then the Buddha, seen this, Buddha went there and said, these thoughts are great thoughts, noble thoughts. It is better you add another one. Buddha gave another one to become 8. Buddha said, this Dhamma is for delighting in freedom from impediments, not to increase impediments, papancha, impediments. In such a way, the Buddha himself appreciated this Dhamma. Eventually, this is the Dhamma, this is the teacher of the Buddha. Buddha, after his attainment of enlightenment, he contemplated upon a person to be respected. Nobody in the whole system of the world, nobody for Buddha to be respected as his teacher. Thereupon the Buddha kept this Dhamma as his teacher. He respected this Dhamma as his teacher. This Dhamma, friends, is based on the 4 noble truths. Four Noble Truths is the central teaching of the Buddha. When we simply understand the Four Noble Truths, we come to right understanding. We come to the path. You know, the right understanding is the first step of the path. Right understanding has three different levels. First of all, we have to understand what is called good and bad, wholesome and unwholesome, merit and demerit. That if you know this, that itself is right understanding. If we know if you know wholesome and unwholesome and their roots, of course, we have to understand their roots as well. What are the roots of unwholesome? Greed, hatred and delusion. If we understand this, that itself is right understanding. So the second level is we to understand 10 different things called wrong understanding, wrong view, miccha ditti. There are 10 types of miccha ditti. In the time of the Buddha, there was a teacher who emphasized these 10 wrong views. Where Buddha taught they are opposite. He taught like no use of giving. He said no use of giving, no use of offering, no use of sort of sacrificing. There is no this world for those who were the pre-existence. So those who are here, there will not be a pre-existence. And he said no point respecting, supporting your mother, no point respecting, supporting your father, like that. The Buddha said they are opposite. So those are called 10 types of wrong views. The Buddha said they are opposite as right view, right understanding. Then the third level of right understanding is understanding dukkha as dukkha, the cause of dukkha as the cause of dukkha, cessation of dukkha as the cessation, and the path leading to the cessation of dukkha as cessation of dukkha. That is right understanding. When we have right understanding, we understand the Dhamma, we come to the path. When we come to the path, as we have right understanding, we start to think. That is our intention, our thoughts, good thoughts. Samma sankappa, good thoughts. What are samma sankappa, good thoughts? Right intention. Intention of renunciation, that is giving, sharing, offering. We have to share with others. We have to give away things. And we have to offer things to the virtuous ones. That is right concept, right thoughts. Those are right thoughts. Then we have to extend love and friendliness to all. Practice love and friendliness. We have to practice love and friendliness to all beings without any discrimination. Beings in different directions, or extending love and friendliness to all beings in different levels. That means the Buddha has taught us two ways of practicing love and friendliness. It's called immeasurable metta, appamana, appamanya, Appamana Cheto Vimukti, where we extend metta to beings in different directions. Buddha pointed out 6 different directions: front direction, back direction, right, left, up and down. Those are the 6 directions to which we have to extend our loving-friendliness. That is one method. The second method is called Mahagata Cheto Vimukti. Mahagata means great gone. Step by step, we starting from here, we spread suffuse metta to all beings in the world. That is called great gone, Mahagata Cheto Vimukti. So those are the 2 methods to practice when practice loving friendliness, metta. Before we extend metta, first of all, we have to generate metta within us. So that itself a good thought, right thought. So we are practicing the Dhamma. This is what is called right living. All these are called right living. If we are practicing this, we are living rightly, correctly, peacefully, harmlessly, blamelessly. Then we have to completely refrain from cruelty. Non-violence is to be practiced. Instead of violence, non-violence is to be practiced. Those are the right thoughts, Samma Sankappa. As we have right understanding, right intention, we talk. That is right speech. Samma Vacha, right speech. Right speech is refraining from false speech, refraining from malicious speech, refraining from harsh speech, refraining from frivolous talk. If we refrain from these 4, that is called right speech. Then as we think, talk, speak and then act. These are called 3 modes of action: mentally, verbally and physically. Physical actions. What are the physical actions? Refrain from killing, refrain from stealing, refrain from sexual misconduct. That is what is called right action, Samma Kammanta. Then Samma Ajiva. That is really what is according to the path, Noble Eightfold Path, right living, right livelihood. To live rightly, blamelessly, harmlessly, you have to earn righteously. Righteous earning is very important. As you all know, according to Buddhist tradition, there are certain traits which are to be avoided by cultured people, by Buddhists, such as raising and trading animals for slaughtering, trading arms, weapons, then trading flesh, intoxicants and poison. Those are not to be practiced by Buddhists according to right living. And then right living, the Buddha has taught us to live righteously. We have to contemplate on certain things. For that, Buddha for the benefit, happiness of this world, Buddha pointed out 4 accomplishments. Once a certain person named Ujjaya went to see the Buddha, and he said, Bhante, we are going to move to another place, distant place. So Bhante, for the benefit of this world and the next world, please tell us something for our own benefit of this world and the next world. Where the Buddha pointed out 4 things, 4 accomplishments for the benefit of this world and 4 for the benefit of next world. Let's understand these things. Buddha said, Utthana Sampada. Utthana Sampada is arouse, and that is initiative. Arouse and do your activities properly, earn properly, righteously. Utthana, with effort, make effort. Especially Buddha's advice is, earn when you are young. So that's the first thing, Utthana Sampada. Arakha Sampada, the second. Arakha Sampada is protect what you earn without squandering. Protect what you earn. This is for righteous living, right living. Arakha Sampada. Then the third one is Kalyana Mitra. Kalyana Mitra is good friend. Associate with good friends. Kalyana Mitrata. Then the fourth one is Samajivikata. Samajivikata is live a balanced life. These are for the benefit of this world. And then the Buddha pointed out another 4 for the benefit of next world. Saddha Sampada. Saddha is confidence, conviction, confidence in the Buddha, confidence in the Dhamma, confidence in the Sangha. Saddha Sampada. That is one of the most important things for all of us. Without Saddha, we cannot go forward. We cannot practice this Dhamma. Saddha is very much important. Once the Buddha said, if you have Saddha, you are the wealthiest. It's a great wealth. Saddha Dhanam, as the devil, Alavaka, the Alavaka, the devil, who asked the question, Kinsu the Vittang Purisasa Settang, Bhante, what is the greatest wealth for man, for humans? What is the greatest wealth? Buddha said, Saddhi the Vittang Purisasa Settang. Saddha is the greatest wealth for humans. Saddha is such important thing. Saddha Sampada. The second one, Sila Sampada. Sila is morality. Your precepts. You to contemplate on your precepts. Sila Sampada. Then the third, Chanda Sampada, generosity. Practice generosity. Give, share, offer things with others. Offer to the virtuous one. Buddha has talked on many different occasions. Buddha has talked about giving, the importance of giving, sharing. This is for the benefit of this world and the next world as well. Then the Panya Sampada. Panya is wisdom. As I said yesterday, wisdom, day before I think, we talk about this. Wisdom arises when we are practicing mindfulness. Wisdom arises in a quiet mind. When the mind is calm and quiet, wisdom arises. For which we have to come to the present moment. Wisdom cannot be communicated, cannot be shared with others, though knowledge can be shared with others. Wisdom cannot be shared. So wisdom, if we have wisdom, we can see through. It is through the tool of wisdom we cut through. Wisdom is to be developed. The Buddha's whole teaching is for the purpose of developing wisdom. So this Dhamma, the Buddha taught this Dhamma for this purpose. In order to develop wisdom, we have to have effort. Without effort, we cannot develop this wisdom. That is what is called right effort in the path, the Noble Eightfold Path. Right effort is very much important. Right effort is to be made for the success of our worldly life. And here in the path, right effort, Buddha said, how to develop mind. In order to develop your mind for the spiritual life, right effort is very much important. There, we have to prevent unwholesome thoughts. We have to make effort to prevent our unwholesome thoughts. Then we have to make effort to abandon unwholesome thought. Whatever arisen, unwholesome thought are to be abandoned. Then we have to develop wholesome thought. For that we have to make effort. Without effort we cannot do that. Then we have to maintain this wholesome thought. Arisen, wholesome thought are to be maintained. Those are called right effort. That is meditation. So when we practice meditation in this manner, this is our spiritual journey. This is how we live rightly, dharmically, our dharmic life. Then as we practice, we are mindful. When we are mindful, we practice mindfulness. Mindfulness of breathing. When we practice mindfulness of breathing, we can develop 4 establishments of mindfulness. Mindfulness of breathing, when practiced, there are 4 steps in the Satipatthana Sutta. Establishments of mindfulness. The discourse on the establishment of mindfulness. There are 4 steps. Whereas in the Anapanasati Sutta, mindfulness of breathing, the sutta name mindfulness of breathing, Buddha pointed out that there are 16 steps of breath. In such a way, we can practice mindfulness of breathing. When we practice mindfulness of breathing, Buddha said, simultaneously you practice 4 establishments of mindfulness. What are the 4? Establishments mindfulness of body as body, feelings as feelings, mind as mind, and mental objects as mental objects. Those are called four establishments of mindfulness. That is called right mindfulness, samma sati. Then we come to the eighth factor of the Noble Eightfold Path, which is called samma samadhi. Right concentration. Why it is called right concentration? Friends, even before the Buddha, there were many rishis, many persons practiced samatha, samadhi. Thousands of rishis practiced, developed concentration. They attain different stages. Jhana, attainment, like Atta Samapatti, 8 attainments. But no attainment of enlightenment. No vipassana. That is the problem. No vipassana. No stream entered, the state of stream entered. Once written, non-written, arahant. Without vipassana, no such things happen. So the Buddha pointed out the way to practice right mindfulness, right concentration. Right concentration is to be practiced with the support of the first 7 factors of the Noble Eightfold Path. That is the difference. Without the support of the first 7 factors of the Noble Eightfold Path, we cannot come to right concentration. Without practicing, without developing right concentration, we cannot come to the 6th factor of the path. 9th factor of the path. You see, though it is called Noble Eightfold Path, eventually the path becomes 10-fold path. The 9th one is called Samma Jnana. Samma Jnana means realizing the Four Noble Truth. Realizing, that is not mere understanding level. Realizing means you see through, you penetrate, you see the interconnectedness of Dhamma like a net. You see the Four Noble Truth, the dependent origination, and the 3 characteristics of existence. That is the realization level of the Four Noble Truth. That can be achieved only through right concentration. Without right concentration, nobody can come to right liberation. Why it is called right liberation? There are own liberations as well. Liberation means not that I am liberated or a person is liberated, but mind is liberated. Liberated mind. When we practice, develop, cultivated the 9th factor, practice vipassana, we can see through, we can realize the Four Noble Truth, and we can come to understand the right liberation. When we are liberated, when our mind is liberated, liberated from what? Liberated from taints. What do you call taints? Taints means asava, underlying tendencies. Taints, very subtle defilements called asava. There are 3 types of asava: kamasava, bhavasava, avijjasava. Kamasava. Kama means pleasure, sensual pleasure, taints of pleasure. Bhavasava, taints of existence. Avijjasava, taints of ignorance. These are to be cut off. These are to go with the last. The last one to go is avijja, ignorance. When practice develops, when you cut off this asava, you can become a khinasava, the one who is completely free from asava. Khinasava is an epithet, a special name for Arahant. This is the way to liberate. This is the way to right liberation. The Buddha said, Vimukta miti, vimuktasmin vimukta miti jnanam hoti. When it is liberated, you can understand that it is liberated. What is liberated? Mind is liberated. That is the way, friends. This is the way to understand the Dhamma. As the Buddha said, those who practice, develop and experience this Dhamma, those who understand this Dhamma, come to the right liberation, living one single day, realizing this Dhamma is better than living 100 years without realizing this Dhamma. Let's all understand the importance of this Dhamma, and let's understand the way how right living leads to right liberation. As we all go together, today, whole day we practice. Now you all together listen to this Dhamma talk. By doing all these good thoughts, we all acquire a great deal of merit. By the power of all this merit, may we all attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.